Maple Grove, it's rivalry night here as the Crimson welcome their closest neighbor and biggest rival, the Osseo Orioles, to Crimson Stadium for football action tonight in the Metro North Subdistrict. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Ryan Iverson. Ryan, football weather has arrived here. These teams the past few years have been meeting to start the season. Now we're pretty deep into the schedule. Game number 6, they get a chance to meet. Hasn't been a super strong year for either team, but you know when it's a rivalry game, they're going to bring their best.
It doesn't matter, right? These kids, and we say it every year, every sport, they know each other, they work out together, they've played in other sports against each other. So this is a game that both teams, both coaches, and both fan bases, they circle every year. It's kind of fun to get in the middle of the year this year, and like you said, it's cold, it's windy. We're going to find out who's tough, who can run the ball, and who can stop the run tonight, but it should be a very competitive game.
Osseo got their first win of the season against Anoka, first win in a couple of years actually, a kind of a much-needed shot in the arm for them. They've said they've had some games where they've been close, but just one or two things go wrong, a penalty here or a missed tackle there. They feel like they're close to being a team that can win some games again.
Well, winning and losing, they're both habits, Jay, and it takes time. You got to learn how to win. And I think getting that first win for them was huge. They beat a team in Anoka, but still, it's a win, and you learn how to. You learn how to manage the clock at the end of a game. You learn how to take care of the football, how to execute on third down, all those little things that add up to a victory. So I think they can take that, and they played very competitive last week, and I think they're coming into tonight with confidence. And now they're kids that haven't won in a long time. They've experienced it. They're going to want more of it, and they know what it takes to get that win.
And for Maple Grove, a 2-3 record coming in. All of their games have been pretty close. They've struggled somewhat to put points on the board, but their D has been solid, and they feel like they can, kind of ride that here tonight and maybe do some damage even in the playoffs.
Well, Coach Lombardi is synonymous with the word defense, right? His guys are going to bring it. They bring pressure. They're going to take chances. They can't beat themselves, whether it's penalties, whether it's turnovers. And I think the other thing to watch tonight is see if they can get some explosive plays. In the last, they've always had a player that could get that explosive 70, 80-yard touchdown run. Let's see if they can get some fireworks tonight, a big play. Their defense a lot of times rides on the momentum of a big play. So if they can get a big play early and then let that defense go, that's the kind of football they want to play.
Let's look at key players to watch in tonight's contest, starting with the visiting Orioles. Khalid Brooks has quietly had a pretty nice year as a running back. He's not a real big guy, but he's got a little speed, he's got a little shiftiness to him, and the Crimson will have to get after him tonight.
Well, you said it, shiftiness. He's crafty, and he's got good speed too, and he's not that tall, so he can kind of hide behind the offensive line, and all of a sudden he does it. He looks like a skier. He's out there siding back and forth. He's got great legs, and he's got to be productive tonight. I think he's got to get the ball 20, 25 times. They got to sustain drives tonight, and if they can do that, he's going to be a big reason why.
And for Maple Grove, we've picked out a guy who's really excelled on their defensive unit, linebacker Anthony Gibson.
I just watching him in warm-ups for the last 20 minutes. He just looks like a football player. He's built like a football player. You could tell he was anxious to start hitting already. The thing is, he's a great tackler, stops a run, he can cover the pass, but the other thing he does is he gets tackles for loss. He's already in double digits. We're midway through the year, so he's just a phenomenal tackler. I'm really looking forward to watching him tonight.
All right, should be a good one. The wind might be a little bit of a factor in the kicking game in particular. Might affect the pass game a little bit tonight as well. It's the Orioles and the Crimson renewing their football rivalry here at Maple Grove, and it comes up next on CCX Sports.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Welcome back here to Maple Grove on a chilly night for football as we're about set to go and trying to stay warm on the sideline tonight. Allie Mosley.
Hey guys, Osseo started out the season utilizing just one quarterback, and that was senior Jake Kruder. Now, a couple weeks ago, Coach Stockhouse decided, you know what, we need to make a little bit of a change. So he brought in junior Wyatt Doubler to go play behind center. Now, in that first game of Osseo utilizing a dual quarterback system, it was 60% Kruder, 40% Doubler. Then last game, 40% Kruder, 60% Doubler, and tonight it's Doubler who gets the start. What Coach Stockhouse likes about Doubler is he says he adds a lot of depth at the position. He's played both slot receiver and running back, so he's got some big legs that will help at the position. And for Kruder, Coach says he's the biggest team leader. He knows the playbook in and out, and he says that he has earned his reps to be able to continue playing quarterback for this team. Guys, it should be fun to watch this team play a dual quarterback system as they try to take down the Crimson on their home turf.
Thanks, Ellie. And the opening kickoff returned by Brooks to about the 25-yard line. So Osseo will get it 1st and 10. As Ellie said, the junior left-hander, Wyatt Doubler, getting the start. A little bit smaller, good runner. And we'll see how things go for the Orioles. They go with the handoff left side, and it is Brooks. He is hit immediately there. Popped by Nate Becker and crew for the Crimson. And no gain on the first down carry for the Orioles.
Well, the thing with Maple Grove is they do such a good job of pursuing the ball. Nate Becker coming down the line. That's where Osseo and Khalid Brooks, you're going to have to hit that hole a little bit quicker because pursuit always coming with Maple Grove.
2nd down and 10 play here. Going to go with the handoff and looking to throw it is Jake Hill. Hill, the receiver, throwing downfield, and he's got the completion. Wow, down to the 40-yard line of Maple Grove as he hooks up there with Roman Check. We do have a flag down, however, and this one may be coming back, and it is. It's a hold against Osseo. Oh, boy, a big play for the Orioles, wiped out. Looked like they were going to have a 35-yard gain, but there we talked with Coach Stockhouse about how, a key penalty here and there has been a problem, and there's a very key one right there. Boy, and they practiced that this week, and we're waiting to unveil it, and then that happens.
I love the play call. You're going for something big right out of the gate, and they executed it really well without that hold. And the thing was, too, number one, Micah Vahey was back there for Maple Grove. It wasn't that they were fooled that bad. I think he thought that throw was going to be underthrown, and beautiful thrown ball, good catch, but negated because of a hold.
Yeah, for a receiver, Hill threw that ball pretty well despite being under a little bit of pressure too. So 2nd and very long. He hits Hill in the flat. Jake Hill trying to escape but could not quite get away as Gibson was out there along with Vahey to wrap him up.
Well, I think the key, Jay, is that for Osseo, especially when you still got a relatively young and new quarterback getting experience, is you got to win 1st and 2nd down. You don't want to have 3rd and 18, 3rd and 20. You want to give him down and distances that he can manage.
So this will be 3rd and 18. Kruder is in there, hands it off to Brooks, trying to get wide, but good pursuit. 3 guys meet him at once there as Gibson was there along with Brandon Boredom, and also some help from Nathan Ross as well.
Yeah, watch him string this out. There's just nowhere to go on the edge. And you can see Gibson's got great speed for a good-sized linebacker. Look at him running down the line and just looking for a cut somewhere was Brooks, and just nowhere to go, no cracks in that defense. Nice job here by Maple Grove. And again, remember, it was all brought back because of a holding penalty.
Alex Tyson on to punt. It's a low liner into the wind and a fair catch coming up to make the grab there. It's a good thing to not let it bounce there. Devin Hornbacher, and great field position. Boy, Matt Lombardi talked about this. We really hope to use the combination of the wind and our defense to our advantage and see if we can't get some short fields to work with.
Well, and that's how you help an offense that struggled a little bit. And there you see Nate Elms, the quarterback. He's got great size. I watched him in the pregame too, and he's got a tremendous arm. One thing you see is that 40% accuracy. You want to see that over 50%. But he's got the arm to do it. They just got to be able to execute down the field.
From the Osseo 40, Cooper Wegscheid takes the handoff, breaks through an arm tackle. Now it's a foot race. One guy can catch him, and Wegscheid is down at the 1-yard line. The ball came out, but it is ruled down. A 39-yard run on their first play from scrimmage for the Crimson. Wegscheid looked like he was going to escape, but good pursuit to at least stop the touchdown here. As you see this one being run down from behind by Knowledge Johnson.
Well, great effort by Knowledge there to not give up on the play. He saved a touchdown, but an excellent start.
And it's Elms going to sneak it in, and he is easily in for the touchdown as Maple Grove, a quick 2-play drive after forcing that punt, and the Crimson quickly take a 6-0 lead.
Well, and I think it all starts, Jay, to that holding penalty on that flea flicker that we saw. That bumped Osseo back, short field, and this is exactly what you want to do when you get a short field. Is a couple of quick hitters, leg shot up the middle with his burst, and then you got the big quarterback able to just use his body and his strength to get up for a touchdown. Great start for the Crimson.
And the kick is good, and so with 9:13 to play here in the first quarter, Maple Grove strikes first and will take a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, let's watch that run that set up this touchdown. It was just a great job. You can see he did a nice job avoiding a defender in the backfield, and then he's little, right? He's not tall, so he's hard to grab. You know, you can see a couple linemen, you know, having their arms extended. It's a little different. You're not used to seeing that. And then he's got that great speed, too. Nice job up front by the big guys, and then a nice job finding that seam and then being explosive.
Way to kick off here for Maple Grove for the second time of the evening. You see Elms talking with his offense. Boy, that's a shot in the arm to start things out. The D gets a stop. The offense rips off a 39-yard run, followed by a 1-yard run for the score. Good deep kick. Brooks takes it at about the 2-yard line. A little spin move there, and then he is brought down at about the 25 by the kicker. Not just your average run-of-the-mill kicker. Right, he's a good defensive back.
Well, you can see how Khalid Brooks is slippery, isn't he? I mean, spin move. Looked like he was going to get tackled. Somehow managed to bounce that out, but there's just no gaps, nowhere to go. You know, and you hear the phrase complimentary football a lot, Jay, and this is exactly what has been. Your defense 4 and out, you get short field, and then your offense feeds off of that. They execute. Now your defense has got some confidence. They can pin their ears down, and maybe you force Osseo into trying to do too much, too quick, and that's how it can snowball.
Doubler keeping it, and he might wish he hadn't, as he is swarmed by 3 tacklers there for Maple Grove. As getting there early, Joe Schmidt along with Brandon Bortnam again, as you get a look at Coach Stockhouse, and he said it feels like a little different this year, this game, because you know, it's not at the very beginning of the season, but he said, I think our guys have kind of settled into getting it a little more, not being all about emotion in this game and being so jacked up. He said we even kind of went to talking about numbers rather than names for when we watch Maple Grove film. Here's Khalid Brooks. Nice cut there, and Brooks with a nice gainer out to the 40 and beyond. He'll be marked out of bounds at the 42-yard line, so nice pickup there of 22 for Brooks and the first down for the Orioles.
Yeah, he did a nice job there of getting to the outside right there, and then you see that cut back to the inside and then showing off that speed. He's that explosive player, and I'll tell you, this is a big drive, I think, for Osseo. You want to make sure that you just gave up a quick 7 as we take a look, someone down on the field. Trying to see if we can figure out who that is. But big drive here. Great response there on the first play of this drive.
Roman Check is the injured player for Osseo. Let's see if we can see him. He's out blocking, and right there he gets pushed down by the defender trying to get to it, and looked like it might have maybe turned an ankle, or he did a good, a nice job of getting in the way enough, and that doesn't look so good right now as he has to be helped off. But a big play for the Orioles. The 42, play action doubler now rolling out, and he is going to be dropped. Doubler sacked on the play for the Crimson by Jake Johnson.
You can see Doubler he's frustrated with that, and that's where, with a little bit more experience, you know, and it happens so quick, the pocket just collapses. If you can, when you're outside of the pocket, just try to get rid of that ball, throw it out of bounds, instead of taking that 5 or 6 yard loss. But it's easier said than done when you got 3 or 4 black jerseys in the backfield.
2nd and 14 now for the Orioles. And handoff there, and Kruder was in there at quarterback and gave it off to Brooks, and he is met immediately. Boy, good penetration again by the Crimson defense as Joe Schmidt gets there.
Well, and they're coming right up the middle. That front 5 for Osseo has to buy just a second of time. Let the running back get the exchange. What you're seeing, Jay, is you're seeing 2 or 3 black jerseys in the backfield before that handoff is even completed. You got to give your running back a chance to make a play. They got dynamic playmakers in the backfield. You got to allow them a second or so to give them a chance.
3rd and 18 for Doubler and crew. They go to Brooks on the sweep, and see where they mark him. Obviously very short of the first down, and trying to get a little bit of the yardage back as he picked his way up the sideline, but didn't get a whole lot, maybe 3. And it will bring up another punting situation for Osseo.
Well, we've seen Osseo have some success on some plays, but a lot of it's been negated with a penalty, a holding penalty on that first drive, and here are a couple of negative plays. You got to avoid the negative plays.
And it's a low, short kick here. It's going to take a bounce, and
we'll get away from that ball.
Maple Grove's Hornbacher thought about coming up to play that one, and then decided that wouldn't be such a grand idea. So there's a look at Coach Lombardi in the middle of the pack there. 9th season at the helm.
Well, it's hard to see obviously right now, but he's in a long sleeve T-shirt there underneath, and he's got that old school kind of toughness about him, doesn't he? Everyone else is huddled up with, you know, hats and blankets and sweatshirts. He looks like the kind that would wear shorts when it's 30 below out. Just a tough guy, but a great football coach.
Crimson football at the 38. Elms, deep drop, throwing downfield and just overshooting. So you tried to hook up there with Jacob Engel as tight end, and Engel, you know, you get the feeling when you look back here that he's saying we could come back to that one again, because that was there. We almost hit it.
Well, I think that sums up a lot of their passing game as you take a look at their starters. And I told you, Elms has that big arm, and you could see it right there. He threw that ball, a beautiful looking ball, but just missing by a foot or inches. They've been very close on a lot of big plays. They just have not been able to connect on them.
2nd down, a little mix-up in the backfield there, and it'll just be Elms going forward for a couple. Looked like he was going to turn and hand it one way, and the back was not there. And did a good job of recognizing that quickly as you can look at the defensive unit for Osseo.
They got to play big up front. We saw, obviously, you know, that big running play on the first drive that Maple Grove had the ball. But that front 7's got to really do a nice job of stopping the run, try to force Maple Grove into a passing team. And the way you do that, win 1st and 2nd down, set up 3rd and long.
Well, a 3rd and 7 here for Elms. They want to set up a little screen, and that one is incomplete and probably wasn't really going to be going anywhere anyway. Spencer Wary, the intended target. Osseo, they let some pressure come outside to hope to set up that screen, but it didn't look like they had much blocked up well in the middle really either, though.
Well, and that's a great job by Osseo, their front 7. You saw a couple guys bringing pressure, and a couple of those linemen and linebackers recognized the speed, the development of that play. That was a screen pass. They did a great job, and that's exactly what their defense needed.
Daniel Baltus on to punt. And this one going to bounce away, and again,
yeah, they're playing roulette, Russian roulette there by getting that close. All it takes is one hop and it comes off of your foot. That's a live ball. You know, as coaches, you hold your breath and just please get away from that ball.
Let's go down to Allie for an injury update.
Yeah, guys, a while back we saw Roman Czech come off the field. He was a little dinged up. He took off his left shoe, had the trainer look at it. He's now got his shoe back on. He's on the sidelines. He has a little limp to him, but he looks like he's ready to check back in.
Well, that would be good news for the Orioles, certainly, as Doubler and crew come out. Now they had a player come to the line of scrimmage late here, but he's ready and set to go. Oops. And movement there looks like for Osseo as giving away that he was going to pull too.
Yeah.
Jagger Shack, the right guard.
I'll tell you, if you're not used to playing teams like Maple Grove, their linebackers are coming into the line of scrimmage, and then they're backing out. You're never sure if they're bringing pressure or not, but they show it on every play. And I think what it does is it speeds you up as a lineman. It feels like you got to get that extra half a step early, and then there you go. It results in a negative play. Osseo's got to avoid those negative plays.
From the 16, they go to Brooks, and no gain as Maple Grove all over that one again. Nate Becker and crew.
And you saw Anthony Gibson in there too. They just got a really athletic group of linebackers, and even their 3 defensive linemen. They're built, they're strong, but they're very athletic. You know, and schematically, you know, I watch a lot of high school football, Jay, and I don't always understand what certain coaches, certain programs, what their defensive philosophies are. When you watch Maple Grove, you know exactly what Coach Lombardi's trying to do, and they're consistent, and they do a great job at teaching it.
Kruder rolling right, and that one is batted away. Nice job defensively there by Brandon Bortnam, who's shown up quite a bit in the early going here for the Crimson as he's able to swat that pass down.
Well, and just great position right here, reading the quarterback. I'll tell you see how he got around with that right arm? A lot of times you'll see guys try to go through the defender for maybe pass interference. That time he got in front, no contact, just an excellent play, batting that down.
Doubler back in there. A quarterback, and the snap goes over his head as he wasn't ready for it. Picked up here.
I think they're going to get a full start.
Oh, and they're fortunate,
Yeah.
yes. As they blow it dead when Hill went back to gather it. And Osseo is going to get a break by having a flag thrown here.
And not too often on 3rd and 14 is it a break when you have a false start, right? But yeah, you can see some movement. And kind of a late whistle there.
Yeah, and I would guess Maple Grove's kind of thinking,
Thanks a lot.
yeah, that they, you know, because obviously if the ball is snapped first, whatever else happens after that, it's, you know, a live play. But I think there was some movement prior.
So here's always an interesting question. You got 3rd and long, you're down a score, you're in your, you know, deep in your own territory. Do you just run the ball here, try to get 4 or 5 yards, be safe, or sometimes you try to take a shot or you try to make a great play and it ends up costing you, right? So it's always tricky in this kind of a situation.
I guess I'd be inclined to want to get the ball in a safe way to a playmaker's hands, maybe
see if
Hill
he can
or
pop
Brooks.
it or something, yeah. But you know what I mean? Sometimes they'll take a chance and they'll force it and ends up, you know, being a turnover and or an interception. You know, and they're going 4 wide receivers. You know, Maple Grove is going to be bringing some pressure. So you got to make really good decisions here.
Doubler's going to flare it out, and Hill catches it, but has to fall to the ground to get it. So they're going to lose even more yardage. About a 5 or maybe 6 yard loss there. And Osseo is going backward.
Well, Jake Hill, he's one of their playmaker. He's their leading receiver coming into the game with 14 catches, over 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns. So that's exactly what, you know, who they wanted to get it to. But you got to slow down and you got to make that accurate throw and give your guy a chance to catch it and then make something happen out of it.
Tyson waiting back near the back of the end zone. Osseo, a very spread formation. And a short kick coming up into the middle of traffic to make the fair catch. That's a good play by Nate Ross right there.
Yep. That's not easy to do because there's people that are running right around you, in front of you, and it's very easy to take your eye off that football and drop it. So great job, heads up play, great concentration, catching that fair catch.
Well, it's not often that you force a punt and don't get a return and are still at the 24-yard line. And there again, we talked about use our defense, use the wind in this first quarter. So from the 24-yard line of Osseo, handoff here going to Wegscheid, and that time much better defended, and he's happy about it as Miles Hawthorne gets there to stuff him.
Well, I love the reaction. Great play by Miles. Watch him come right up. I mean, he was on his knees extending for that. That was just a great play, and you see the emotion. I love it. Love to see it, and hopefully that's contagious, not only for the rest of his defense, but maybe spills over to offense too. They just need a spark to get their team going, and maybe that was it.
2nd and 10, no gain on that play. Wary is in there in the backfield now. He will take the handoff on the sweep to the left side and is chopped down. Decent gainer there for Spencer, the senior. And he will pick up about 5 on that carry.
Well, they just got a nice push there to the left side. You can see them. They sent their tight end in motion to get an extra blocker over there. Really nothing fancy, but I'll tell you, that's a big play. You know, on 2nd and 10, when you can gain 5 yards, now you have a manageable 3rd down where the run is still an option. You know, sometimes keeping it simple and just adding another blocker on one side and just getting that push.
Nice sure tackle by Josiah Tussler, and that name a little familiar. Bridgeport Tussler, Mr. Football at Osseo not so long ago. Here's a handoff to Wegscheid on 3rd and 5, and again a nice solid stop will limit his gain there, as that time wrapped up for the Orioles by Trey Williams.
And Trey did a great job. He's a big defensive lineman there. That play was going to the right. You can see he started on the left side and went right down the line and kept pursuing that, made a really nice tackle.
4th and 3 coming up here for the Crimson, and they're certainly going to go for it, especially on a windy night like this. I don't think field goal is probably much of a consideration here. Elms reaches out on that stretch play, gets it to Wegscheid, and down the sideline he goes and runs almost over somebody, but tackled there by Dupree at the 5-yard line, but it'll be 1st down and goal to go for Maple Grove. Boy, they had the right play call here, huh?
And to the short side of the field, and you can see just it's a sprint there, and that was hard enough just for Elms to get the ball to him. But, you know, I'll tell you what I love, Wegscheid. You see how he finished that run? He might not be big in size, but he's big in stature there, and he finishes that run hard.
So it is at the 6-yard line is where they'll spot it. 1st down, goal to go. Got a fullback in front of Wegscheid. Elms will hand it off, and spinning around there is Aiden McMahon, taking that handoff for the Crimson, and he'll advance it about halfway there. He got 3.
Well, I love having a fullback back there, and sometimes you'll pop that and you could get a big play, but a lot of times you're doing it to keep the defense honest, and you can see they're almost running that. Wouldn't be surprised to see him use that same play, fake it, and then you can see they had the option set up outside of it. But that fullback, that threat of running up the middle, I think keeps defenses honest.
Well, we had a penalty apparently on Maple Grove as they're spotting it back at the 11. I didn't actually see that one. Going to go with that stretch play to the short side again, and Wegscheid this time is wrapped up at around the 7-yard line. Is brought down there for Osseo by Abukar Bundy and also Michael McIntyre.
That's just a straight sprint to the left side there. Instead of using a pitch, they're counting on Elms to get that ball out there, and that's a lot of timing goes into that, but they've run it twice now, really successful.
So 2nd and goal now for Maple Grove. Obviously that penalty, I might have said the wrong down there. Oh, there's the pitch this time, and that's why they weren't doing it before. Wegscheid able to come up with it just as he's going out of bounds there, being pursued by Hawthorne. But you see Elms is hit, and that one could have been disaster. Good defense by Osseo to force that ball to the turf.
Well, you got to make a decision. Do you go for the quarterback or the pitch? And I love that decision. It was hard to see who got the hit on Elms, but he went right at the quarterback. The way you can disrupt that option is by making the quarterback pitch it before he's ready or before he's got his hands positioned well. And you can see Elms had to get rid of that a little bit early, and it caused a bad pitch.
3rd down and goal at about the 6 now for Elms and the Crimson. Play action fake. He throws toward the end zone and nicely defended. As that one broken up there for the Orioles by Denzel Navy. Looked like this ball was there. It was a good throw, but just well defended. He got a piece of it as he tried to hook up with Owen Overly.
And a dangerous throw, right? When you're in short field like that, you throw it all the way across the field. Nice job by Denzel there. Great coverage. he's a step earlier on that. He might be able to pick that, and there's nothing in front of him. So I think this is a good win here for this Osseo defense. You remember, Maple Grove got the ball short field right at the 25. They did a nice job holding here.
Wary on to attempt a field goal. It's a high snap, though, and they're not going to get the attempt away, as it was too high. Wary was trying to line it up for the kick here, and you see Baltus had to reach way up for it, and then he fell down, and he was probably going to be down anyway there because his knee might have been down, but just to make sure and make him pay a little bit was Didier Adapu to bury him, and so Osseo stops the Crimson when it looked like they were going to punch it in again.
Well, and that's a huge stop, Jay. Now you're still down 1 score. You get your offense back on the field. Going down 2 scores on the road, that's a hard hole to dig out of, so that's a big, big win by the Osseo defense.
Kruder is the quarterback. They have it at the 13. Maple Grove might have jumped into the neutral zone here. I didn't really see any movement from Osseo, so. And it is indeed going to be against the Crimson. And that's, obviously we've watched Maple Grove for a long time, and that's something you have to live with occasionally when they try and, to jump the snap count and be aggressive and get up there, and so that's occasionally going to happen. 1st and 5 now for the Orioles. Kruder will hand it off to Brooks, sweep left, and this time a nice cut, and he'll have yardage out over the 30 and more. He's brought down finally at the 40-yard line, so about a 22-yard pickup. Second time he's put that kind of number up.
Yep, nice patience there. You see he lets his blockers get out in front of him. They do a nice job of sealing the edge there, and he cuts it back upfield, very similar to the run he had earlier in this quarter. But he's got that, you talked about him being shifty, and you can see nice patience, and then when he wants to go north and south, it's bam, and he's got that great quickness and explosion. That's a nice run.
Down under 45 seconds to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10 here for Osseo. Doubler back in, hands it to Brooks, sweeping the other way this time. And good strength to drag him down there by Becker.
Yeah, you've called Nate Becker's name quite a bit already in the first quarter. He does a nice job of tackling, playing that defensive line, just coming right down the line of scrimmage, and that's what you're taught defensively. You want to set that edge. Do not let a kid, especially like Brooks, who's fast and explosive, don't let him get outside. String it along and then trust that your teammates are pursuing down the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what happened.
Osseo's not going to snap it again, so we have reached the end of 1 quarter here tonight at Maple Grove. The Crimson get an early touchdown. Our score after 1 is Maple Grove 7 and Osseo nothing.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Welcome back here to Maple Grove as he tackle cancer here tonight here this evening, and Allie, more on that later in the game. And you see some of the kids kind of a rude awakening compared to the first 5 weeks of the season weather-wise here, I think, for everybody.
Isn't it crazy to think on Monday it was 80-something degrees, and here we are 4 days later, and it's long underwear season.
From the 43, Kruder pitching it back on the option. Brooks spun around and then knocked down. He'll gain a yard, maybe 2, as Maple Grove. And it was interesting, Coach Lombardi was talking about his team kind of learned the hard way against Centennial last week, some of the option responsibilities where they had guys trying to make a play and not sticking with what they should have been doing. And that time they did a pretty good job on that one.
Well, it's one of those, you don't see it a lot, right? So you're not used to seeing it, and sometimes you think you know your responsibility, but you think you can make the play, and you make a mistake and give up a big play. That time, nice job containing it.
Doubler, a run all the way here. Gibson just throws him down, although Doubler did fall forward with the ball. And they are going to be short, but they're going to line up, try and see if they can catch Maple Grove not ready.
And you got to watch for the hard count here, see if you can get the defense to jump.
4th down and 2 Will they really go for it here, or are they just trying to draw Maple Grove off? Doubler backing out into the shotgun. See, Maple Grove is back off the ball more than normal too, and now Osseo is going to use the timeout. I think they were just going to go with the no snap count there and see if they couldn't draw them, and Maple Grove, good discipline there.
And a nice job too. That's what I would do if I was Osseo. Coach Stockhouse trying to get the free first down out of it, and especially when you got an aggressive defense like that. That's a smart play, and you didn't get it. So now it's decision time right at midfield. You got the wind playing, behind you now. I say go for it. I say try to get that first down, try to get the momentum, and keep this drive going. It looks like they're going to punt.
Tyson is on there.
I'm telling you, when you got 4th and short in midfield, this is always that perfect fake punt situation. So if you're Maple Grove, I'm sure Coach Lombardi just told his guys, watch the fake.
The wind with his back this time, much to the relief of Tyson, and not surprisingly a little bit better kick. It's bobbled, but then held on to. As you don't think about that part of it, but catching punts in this wind, and Hornbacher had to kind of struggle to stick with it, but he got it.
Yeah, nice job sticking with it. You're right. And you can see that wind is howling out there.
Not just out there, in here too. So Crimson football again here. They lead it 7-0, but we'll see if the field, I think the decision maybe to not go for it might have been, really Coach Stockhouse thinking, now it's our turn to flip that field position a little bit.
Well, and they did that. Now your defense has to do its part, right? Nice job. They got it to midfield. They're Maple Grove deep, but now you got to get a stop.
Helms looking to throw, completing that pass out to Raymond. It'll be just short of a first down. Luke Raymond, the senior, looks like he'll gain 9 or so, depending on where they spot him down here. And nice play to get the drive started.
It's a beautiful play. It's an easy play action, an easy throw for Nate Helms to roll into his left. It's not a long completion. You get his confidence going, and you get 9 yards on first down. I always like to follow up a big play on first down when you got 2nd and short. Try to take a shot.
Helms will hand it off here, and Wary driving his legs forward out over the 45 and all the way out to the 49. Osseo looked like they're trying to rip the football, but didn't really have his momentum stopped, and he will be given that gainer, as he should have been, all the way out to the 49. So a pickup of 11 for Spencer Wary and a first down.
Yeah, and a little bit different. He's got a little bit more size, kind of more traditional, 6 foot, 170, 180. And just ran right up the middle, nothing fancy about it, and just got a great push by those guys up front, and then kept those legs driving. Nice gain.
So just shy of midfield at their own 49 are the Crimson here, with a new set of downs to work with. To Wary on the left side, trying to get to the edge, and pushed out of bounds after a pretty minimal gain there, maybe about 3 into Orioles territory.
Well, it looked like number 13, Danzel Navy, was going to maybe make that play in the backfield, but a nice job by Wary. Just getting enough out to that outside, and what could have been a 3-4 yard loss ends up getting 3 or 4 yards out of it.
Yeah, they'll call it a 3-yard pickup to the 48 of Osseo here. Early second quarter, 7-0 Crimson. They forced a punt and then had a long run on their first play from scrimmage that set up a 1-yard touchdown by the quarterback, Nate Helms. Turns and hands off. Wary has all kinds of room.
Great speed, too, and a nice job. I don't know. I couldn't quite tell who was out in front. Was that Caleb Campbell, number 55? Yeah, watch him get that hand right on his offensive lineman. That's how when you drop a play and you're designing it, and then to see your team execute it like that, beautiful. And I'll tell you, Maple Grove's had more success running on that left side of the line of scrimmage, but that time an excellent job by Caleb Campbell leading the hole right up the middle.
Wegscheid comes back in after a nice gainer by Wary. It's first down at the Orioles 34 now. They toss it to Wegscheid. cutting straight up the gut, and he'll pick up 5, maybe 6 on the play, but a holding penalty will bring it back.
Well, I'll tell you what else is nice for Maple Grove. When you have two capable backs like they do with Wary and Wagscheid, you allow the other one to take a couple plays off, get his rest, and then he comes back in feeling 100%. You keep fresh that way. And as a defense, it's hard to, take on two fresh, capable running backs. So it's a nice 1-2 punch that the Crimson have.
Going to be pushed all the way back to the 44. We talked about earlier how Osseo had some games where some key penalties have stopped them, and this, you get a positive drive going and then have a holding penalty certainly doesn't help Maple Grove's cause here. First down and 20. Go to Wagscheid, left side, cuts it to the outside and knocked down inbounds at about the 39-yard line. So not a bad gainer there, about 5.
Nice job blocking too by Luke Raymond out on the perimeter.
So it will be 2nd and 15 coming up here for the Crimson. Maple Grove fans will have your team again in week 8 against Champlain Park right here at Maple Grove.
And that should be a good one. Champlain Park's off to a pretty good start this season as well.
Yeah, just a close loss to Centennial away from being undefeated. They're 4-1. Flag down on the play. Elms throwing it up for grabs. Oh, boy, a diving catch, and it looks like he made the catch, but I think this one might be coming back.
What a catch. We're going to get a legal procedure, I believe. But that ball was thrown really nice. That ball hung in the air. Remember, you're throwing into the wind. That ball kind of got pushed to the outside. Great concentration by Luke Raymond there to go up and get it and to stay in bounds. But that one is coming back.
It was illegal formation against Maple Grove. I was going to say I didn't see movement, but that is indeed the call. Illegal formation on the Crimson is at 5 men in the backfield, it looked like. And so then we don't have to worry about any controversy because I'm not entirely convinced that Raymond was inbound. It looked like the ball, as he caught it in his hands, landed on the sideline. So, but doesn't really matter at this point. It still was a heck of an effort, though.
Our two most spectacular passing plays have both been negated by penalties. Osseo with the flea flicker and that one by Raymond.
So Maple Grove going a little forward, then a little back. Elms throwing it deep down the middle, and this one is caught. It was misjudged, and then a fumble. Engel the catch, the battle for it, and Maple Grove will wind up with it. Dashing down is Preston Rupeck to get on that football. The completion to Engel as the D-back misjudged it, and then Engel has it punched out of there from behind right there as the strip play made by Osseo's Owen Dukowitz, but then Rupeck getting down on it.
Well, watch Dukowitz. He's in great position here, and you said it. He just mistimed his jump, but stayed with it. Great job stripping, but this is why you play until the whistle, right? You never stop, never quit on a ball. Great job pursuing it. Great coverage by Maple Grove.
1st and goal. Elms following his fullback into the line. Looks like it should be a touchdown, although I haven't seen a signal yet. Yes, now we get the signal. Touchdown, Nate Elms. He was caught up in a wave of bodies there, but it certainly appeared as that initial surge was going to be enough, and indeed it is.
I'll tell you, that game ball for that drive should definitely go to Rupeck for sprinting down and covering that. And you can see they get down to that 2 or 3 yard line when you got a big quarterback like Nate Elms, 6'3", 210 plus pounds. Just let him use those legs and that body and fly forward.
Wary on to attempt the extra point. A very high kick, and he gets it through. And so with 6:21 to go here in the second quarter, Maple Grove's lead now grows to 14-0. And just the way you practice it, right, Ryan? You get the long completion over the middle. Okay, now you're going to fumble it, and you're going to follow up and go get it.
Yeah, and again, remember, we're going into the wind, so you can see the arm strength, beautiful looking throw, and just mistimed. Great job. Watch this great coverage. That's what you practice, stripping the ball from behind like that. But that is just such a heads-up play by Rupek there, number 17 for the Crimson. He just beat 2 Osseo defenders to that ball. And I'll tell you, that's what I love to see. It reminds me of an old Crimson quarterback that we used to see here, Brad Davison. Nate Elms, knowing that they're up 14-0, but getting his offense together, letting them know we can't let up yet. This is still a battle. That's leadership right there. And every good team's got some great leaders, and you love to see that.
Well, I was flipping through, sitting on my desk at work is a Athlon Sports college basketball preview with a guy named Brad Davison on the cover, at the Midwest regional cover for him. And obviously he's having a nice college basketball career, still holds a lot of the passing records obviously here for the Crimson. And when it came to day one of Crimson football this year, guess who was there? Mr. Brad Davison standing there talking to the guys before he had to head back to Madison.
No, and that's important. And I'll tell you what's cool about that is not only for these varsity kids, but it's cool when you're a young kid and you're a good player and you see that it is possible to make it to the big time from where you live. Seeing someone from your community go on and have success. So that's, Brad's been a great representative of Maple Grove.
From the 22-yard line, Kruder looking to throw a little screen, gets it to Brooks, but smelled out nicely there as hustling to get there in a hurry for the Crimson as Brandon Borton making another nice play.
Well, great play by Borton, but I want you to see Michael McIntyre, number 54 for Osseo. He was the lead blocker out there, and I just don't think he saw Borton. If he is able to get a body on Borton, that play goes for 15, 20 yards. There was nothing out ahead. It was a well-called play, well-designed, but just a nice job by Borton. I'm sniffing it out, avoiding the blocker, and making a great one-on-one tackle.
Loss of 3, so back to the 19 they go. Doubler in there, fakes the handoff, and he will run it. And solid tackle, but it's a nice gain as he is stopped there by Aaron Tollefson.
Well, and I think that's one thing they really like about Doubler when he's in there is he, not quite as big, but he's a little bit, faster, a little bit craftier running the football, and that was a nice gain. And it got him into third down and manageable. As you can see, they're rotating, if not every play, every other play, giving both quarterbacks a chance.
The 3rd and 5 now from the 27 as Kruder back in there for Osseo. Kruder throwing over the middle and nearly picked off as a great read by Jaden Machette as he came hard for it there and it almost got the pick.
Well, you could see Machette, what he had this time. You see him, he's from that free safety position. He broke, he saw the ball. And I'll tell you what, if he's able to hang on to that, that is a pick 6. He's walking into the end zone. And that's where, as a quarterback, you got to use those eyes. You got to look a defender off just enough to be able to get that seam in the middle of the field. Otherwise, if you're looking at that receiver, staring him down, free safety can read your eyes.
Tyson booting it away. And fielded there for the Crimson by Ross, going hard to the sideline. And he'll be knocked out of bounds just into Osseo territory. And Oriole slow to get up here.
It was weird. The line judge from the Maple Grove side of the field threw the flag on that. I think he's going to get
like a blindside block maybe.
Yeah. You see a nice punt and a nice return, good speed. You're going to see at the very top of our screen. Right there,
yeah.
You can see it looked like he was got him from the back, but the weird thing was the flag came from the opposite side of the field.
Shaken up is Ernesto Tablas for Osseo, and the officials discussing this one now.
And I'll tell you, the hit didn't look awful, but I'll tell you when you're not expecting it, your body's in a different, you can see his head, he does not see that coming. And your body isn't ready for it. When you know a hit's coming, you tense your muscles, you tense your body up, your body prepares for that. But when you don't see it like that, it doesn't even have to be that big of a hit, but sometimes it hurts more because you're just not prepared for it.
Be interesting to see this call. I think there could be a question of whether this was helmet to helmet hit too.
My first thought was that's what it was, but then it looked like it was in the block in the back.
Yeah. Personal foul. Ooh, and he's ejected.
Wow.
Targeting penalty. And I thought, and looking at it again, I'm not terribly surprised.
Yeah, I guess when I first saw it, Jay, I didn't think he went helmet to helmet on him. But here we got just a great job, great camera view right here. Oh yeah, he's up there high.
Their helmets did hit.
Yep.
And Jaden Machetta is going to be
ejected. And that's one of those you certainly don't think it's malicious or intentional by any means, but if you're going to make that kind of a hit, you got to make an effort to get low.
And I think there's a chance that even if he hits him lower, that was going to be called a blindside block.
But probably not ejected, I don't think, from
absolutely.
it.
That's what I was thinking. There were 3 possible outcomes there. It could have been just a block in the back, which it wasn't. But
a personal foul, blindside hit, or targeting, and with the ejection. And and what I liked is the referees, they threw the flag, but then they got together, they conferred about it. With the injury, they had time.
What did you see?
And that's the right job by the referee. They did a nice job of talking it over. It's frustrating you can see he's upset. Probably doesn't agree with it either, but that's just one of those, player safety, the way they protect players now, you got to know that and got to do everything you can to try to avoid even the appearance of it.
Hand off to Wegscheid, and he is wrapped up and driven down after picking up about 5 or 6 on the play. As they've gotten some good mileage out of running off tackle, stretching it out a little bit, not straight up the middle, not a sweep, but hard off tackle or to the edge.
Yeah, and there's those dead sprints to the outside, so you're giving Wegscheid a chance to get that speed built up, and he's hitting that hole hard. And they're not huge home run plays, but they are, like you said, 5, 6, 7 yards. Those are big wins.
2nd and 4 now for the Crimson. Elms will turn and hand it the other way to Wegscheid.
Oh,
and
nice
he is
hit.
met nicely there. Went low on him there to make the stop for the Orioles was Stephen Orell.
That's how you tackle. Orell was getting blocked by a wide receiver, got off that block, and then just stuck it. That was a big-time play. Unfortunately, it's still enough for a first down for the Crimson, but what a beautiful tackle in the open field there.
That's when you know your O-line's been doing the job too, though, when there's a play that looks like a really good defensive play and it still nets the first down.
Yep.
Because he, wasn't contacted because he went down as soon as he was hit that time, but he still got enough for the first down. Wary takes the handoff here, and a short pickup there as the Orioles defend that one pretty well. Standing him up was Josiah Tussler. Boy, it's like you said earlier, it's a real different look just right away. Wary versus Wegscheid.
Yep.
Wegscheid short, got the legs pumping. He already looks like he's running as soon as he gets it, whereas Wary's a little taller, a little leaner. He's kind of a little more cautious or picking his spot a little bit more.
And I'll tell you what I like about these sprint runs that they're running to the outside. It almost takes the defensive line out of the play because they're, your defensive linemen are going up the field, and by the time they take a step, the ball's already to the outside. So kind of nice play calls, play designs too for the Crimson.
2nd and 9, pretty good protection. Elms throwing it down the field, and a nice grab by Engel at the 30, a fingertip catch as he hauls it in, and it looks like he might have a little bit of a cramp too.
Yeah. Beautiful touch. We've seen it, Jay, a couple times tonight by Elms, just putting that ball into the air and actually having luck throwing into the wind. And that is a phenomenal catch. That is not an easy catch when you're looking over your shoulder like that, and the extension too by Engel. That was really well executed. Great throw, and also maybe even a better catch.
26-yard gain, and Engel's so excited about that he's going to shrug off that little leg injury and get right back in there. So at the Osseo 30, Maple Grove looking to build on a 14-0 lead. Play action for Elms. Again, great time throwing deep downfield, and it is caught for the touchdown. A one-on-one battle, and Raymond will win it.
Is he looking a little bit like his older brother from a few years ago, Luke Raymond? We've seen his older brother, Joe Raymond, with some beautiful catches. That one was absolutely beautiful. And again, a nice job, nice throw. by Nate Elms. These balls are hanging in the air a little bit, and you can see the Osseo defensive back not even seeing the football. That's where if you get a head around, you can make a play on that ball, but it becomes almost like a box-out drill. And a nice job. Luke Raymond just goes up and gets it at 6'2". He's got that good length, good jumping ability. And that was just a great drive. We've seen him do it in the running game, and that drive, a lot of it through the air.
Ware's extra point is good, so 2:17 to go first half. Luke Raymond hauls in the 30-yard touchdown pass from Elms after the Elms to Engel connection helped set it up.
Nice play action too, well blocked up front, so he had time. I mean, that's half of it as a quarterback. If you get time to be able to set your feet and allow your receiver to get some separation, you can see there's no pressure. Strikes back, throws it up in the air. And a lot of that as a quarterback is trusting your receiver to go make the play. And we saw it in a couple plays, some great catches on that drive by the Crimson.
Yeah, you made a really good point about nice clean pocket to throw from. I mean, where the Osseo guys, when they've been throwing, generally haven't had that kind of time. And that time, Elms, you can step it. And it also helps with your timing, because when you practice that play, you're doing it generally against no defense. Yep. So you're not, you don't have to wait or shift right or left. You just throw the ball in rhythm on time, and Raymond goes up and gets it.
Well, as a quarterback, if I'm Elms, I'm throwing it up in the air, just recognizing that Osceo's defensive backs aren't getting their head around to look at the ball.
Kenneth McKenzie on the return that time. Or check that, not McKenzie, it was Jacoby Jackson, 17 rather than 7. On the return for Osseo on that short pop-up kick into the wind. The Orioles will have it at the 33-yard line. A little over 2 minutes to go here in the first half. And they have burned a couple of timeouts, however, and we'll see if they can get something going here and try and get a score on the board before the half.
Yeah, plenty of time. They just need positive plays and see if they can put up 7 here before the end of the half.
Give to Brooks. He's forced way back wide and brought down. Boy, what a game Becker's having as he drags Brooks down from behind. And Matt Lombardi wants a timeout. They want to get the football back.
Watch Becker come from the bottom of your screen, the middle of your screen there. And you see he's chasing down. I mean, that's not a lineman he's chasing down. That's Khalid Brooks, who's fast. That's just a great athletic play by Nate Becker. Coming, and that's a defensive lineman chasing a running back. Yeah, with 3 timeouts, the Crimson take one here. Stop that clock, 2nd and long. If I'm Osseo, I'm keeping the ball on the ground here, and I'm forcing Maple Grove to use their timeouts. You don't want to have an incompletion and stop the clock, voluntarily for the Crimson. That young man right there has had a heck of a first half. He's been all over the field, chasing down, making great tackles.
Yeah, and the complexion, we're talking about, Osseo, they got some time, and the complexion changes when you get a big loss on first down. Maple Grove, and obviously veteran coaching staff that they have, as the fans having a little fun there with the powder in the stand, they quickly call a timeout. They're thinking, we can get the ball back here.
Yeah, and that's what, good coaches, you adapt to whatever that situation is, and it quickly changed from, we want the clock to run and let's hurry up and end it, to, hey, let's stop the clock. We might have a chance to get the ball back.
Doubler throwing for Hill, and that one fluttered on him and is incomplete.
And again, that incompletion stops the clock. If you throw in a situation like that, you want to throw something that you know is a very high probability that you're going to complete. An easy throw for your quarterback, your receiver. And you can see right now, Osseo looks frustrated. Their kids look frustrated. They just got to have something positive happen for them.
And Coach Lombardi, speaking with the official, they wouldn't have obviously needed to call a timeout because of the incompletion, so I don't think that they did, but not sure what the discussion, if he felt like maybe more time ticked off than should have, or it didn't appear like there was anything unusual in that way.
Hey, did you donate to Tackle for Cancer? Do you think that's probably what he was saying to the official?
Well, again, like you talked about earlier here, how cautious, or how much of a gambler are you if you're Osseo right now? Another 3rd and long. That's just really hurt them in this game.
I run the football here too because I don't want to stop the clock.
Kruder is going to throw, and he throws it right to Gibson, and that's going to be a touchdown. Gibson won't get an easier one than that. Right place at the right time, and he will stroll in for the touchdown.
Oh, he did a great job. He read pass, and you're taught to get into that passing lane. You can see the ball, thrown behind the receiver, and Gibson right there. And he knew as soon as he got it, there was nothing in front of him. And I swear we highlighted him in the pregame too, didn't we, Jay? We did a good job there. He's made a bunch of tackles tonight, and they're, when you're on defense, you're hidden, but you rarely think you're going to get that opportunity to score. And then you got one right into your breadbasket there. He did a great job hauling it in and getting that touchdown.
Wary for the extra point, and this time it is snuffed out. Good pressure up the middle there for Osseo as the block by Atapu.
You can see here's the... Yeah, I'm not quite sure who he was throwing to because the receiver that was running in the slot there hadn't yet broke his route off. So I don't know if there was some miscommunication between quarterback and receiver, but here's a look at that extra point that was blocked. See, it just looked a little bit slow developing, but an awesome job there by Atapu getting up there. And we saw him make the tackle on the field goal attempt earlier, and that time finally got through, and great job with the block.
They will kick off here for Maple Grove, as this has been a first half to remember for the Crimson here. They've come out and done a lot of things well in the opening half. Going to drive it down to about the 12-yard line here. Trying to pick his way through traffic there for the Orioles is McKenzie, and wrapped up here. And brought down eventually. Whistle had sounded there, but they just kind of let him go. So it'll be Osseo football at the 27-yard line here. A minute 41 to go, but now down by 4 scores.
Well, and I hate to say it too, Jay, but you're kind of in the same situation as that last drive here. If you were to have a negative play, or if you're having an incompletion, a minute 40, remember Maple Grove still has 2 timeouts as well. Let's see if Osseo can dial up something big. Whether it's in the passing game, maybe you try that flea flicker again, a screen, something big that they can get going positive.
Doubler's going to keep it here, and wrapped up, brought down there for the Crimson by Josiah Atkinson. And about a yard, if that, for Doubler on the play. So 2nd down and long, and they don't look like they intend to do anything that'll stop the clock here. Doubler's going to hand it off to Brooks, and he is wrapped up. And again, same guy there, Atkinson, making 2 big plays in a row.
When I saw Coach Lombardi look at the clock too, and I think, if this was 14-0 or 10-0, I bet he's calling timeouts. I think up 27. He's not using his timeouts.
Be a 3rd down and 9 coming up here for Osseo, or excuse me, longer than that, 3rd and 11 after that loss by Brooks. Boy, it's kind of been feast or famine for Brooks. He's had a couple 22-yard runs, Ryan, but then there have also been 3 or 4 negative yardage plays.
Yep. You just got to give a playmaker like that a chance. Get him a seam into that next level where he can, again, same thing. He's patient. There's just not a seam to turn that ball upfield.
Strung out nicely by the Crimson defense, and coming up hobbling a little bit for Osseo there is Rick Grant.
Just not being able to get into a rhythm, the Orioles tonight, and a lot of that is losing yardage on 1st down, whether it's a penalty or just a negative play. But your play script, you're down in distances, you just don't plan for second, third, and 15, 16 all night long. They're hard downs and distances to convert from.
Well, this hurts that he ended up going out of bounds there. Otherwise, they could have run that clock out. Tyson will have to punt it away here. And the Crimson are just going to watch it bounce. And it will be down with 2 seconds left. Maple Grove will have the football back at their 38, as they're probably going to be content to just go into halftime here, you would expect. 3-touchdown second quarter for Maple Grove has blown this one open to a 27-0 lead.
Well, remember, it was 7-0. They scored in 2 plays the first time they touched it. Got a really short field. Osseo's defense did a great job of holding there. And so we looked like we were in for a ball game here, and then just a couple of quick scores, some good passes, and just like that, 27-0.
Elm's just going to take a knee here as we go into the half. And the Crimson excelling in the opening half offensively and defensively.
Well, and that young man right there is a big part of it. He's had a hand in almost all of them. Well, he has had a hand in all of them.
All but one, the interception return at the end.
Yep.
But
ran for 2, threw the nice one with a great catch too by Raymond. And I still think the play of that first half, Jay, was Rupek chasing down that fumble on that long pass and keeping the drive alive for the Crimson.
Those are the kind that do really excite the coaches, right? I mean, you're going to watch film and you're going to see that, it wasn't the touchdown catch or whatever. It wasn't the interception return, but a guy who just was hustling.
Played to the whistle, does the little things like that to keep a drive going.
Let's go down now to Allie with Coach Stockhouse.
Coach, if you take away the big Maple Grove plays, and there were quite a few in that first half, your defense had a lot of energy that seemed to be carrying the team. Then, some offense from Maple Grove. What were you seeing?
It's the same thing. I think we're having uncharacteristic mistakes. We talked about it before the game about staying out of our own way. Had some big penalties on offense that takes us backwards. They have great field position. We're putting them in a good situation with that aspect. Offensively, we got to figure out how to move the ball, handle the pressure that they're putting up there, get out of our own way a little bit, keep our defense on the sideline. We trust our secondary guys, and we've been beat over the top a few times. So we're not getting pressure to their quarterback. We got to work on that a little bit, and we got to get some returns going with our special teams as well.
What do you think we will see out of you offensively in the second half to start putting some points on the board?
Some grit and some toughness. I think we just got to dig down and get out of our own way again. For us, it's just not letting the simple things break down, not letting that pressure get to us, handling it, communicating, and just taking a big deep breath and trying to move forward.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Guys.
Thank you very much, Allie and Coach Stockhouse. Well, we remind you to look for the CCX Sports Play of the Week each week, as we have 4 plays up there every week.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back here to Maple Grove as the Crimson leading Osseo 27-0 at halftime, and at the young dance crew getting set to help out here is the middle school dance working with the young kids and getting out in the Little Leaders program here. And you know, we always talk about when the youth football players come out, and the same kind of thing. You want to build that interest in it and get them excited about being out here at a high school football game, and you know, just kind of make it a whole big deal, and get it in their mind that, hey, I could be out there one day.
Well, and there's just something different about high school football games. It draws so many different people, from the bands to the cheerleaders, the dance teams, the crowds, the parents, everything. So it's just awesome to see young people out on a Friday night when it's 35, 40, whatever it is out there, windy, and there's smiles on their faces. They're just loving it, and they get to be on the big stage. It's awesome.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there, choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Welcome back here. Maple Grove opening up a 27-0 lead over Osseo at halftime as we check out some highlights from the opening half of play. And it really didn't take Maple Grove long to kind of get things started. Their defense got a stop. And then on the first play from scrimmage, Cooper Wegscheid breaking free, almost goes the distance. Great effort there by Knowledge Johnson. He was down at the 1-yard line. That was their first play from scrimmage. And then it's Nate Elms finishing off the drive on the next play. High snap as they were looking for a field goal. That one didn't quite pay off. But
and that was a good stand there by Osseo on a short field.
Then it is Elms looking deep downfield, and a grab by Engel. Then it's punched out of there, but here's the hustle play that Ryan was talking about. First guys couldn't get it, and the next guy there, Preston Rupak, able to grab it, and that set up a 2-yard plunge by Nate Elms. That came halfway through the second quarter. Still kind of a manageable game at that point for Osseo at 14-0, but Maple Grove then coming back. 2 completions in a row. This one, the touchdown grab by Raymond as he just went up and outfought the defender to haul that one in. And they were not done yet as a interception return for a touchdown as Gibson picking off Cooter and walking on in. Just a little mix up there, receiver and quarterback on the route. And the extra point try, however, was blocked as good effort coming in to make the block there by Atapu. So you look at the totals in the first half, and they obviously favor the Crimson fairly heavily. They had the field position battle and scored the touchdown on a defensive touchdown as well. So no way to say it other than that Osseo's got their work cut out.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, if you're Maple Grove, you love to see that balance on offense. 112 rushing yards, but then 95 passing yards, especially with conditions and the wind the way they are. That's pretty positive for Maple Grove. I'll tell you one thing, Coach Lombardi will be talking to him at halftime. 5 penalties for 40 yards. Let's try to clean this up.
We will take a timeout, and that looks good. The grill going. We can stand the heat from it.
I was going to say the burgers or the heat from the fire.
Yes, both. Yes to both. 27-0 Crimson.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Welcome back here to the Crimson Stadium as Maple Grove leading it by a score of 27-0 here in Metro North District football action as we're pretty deep into the season right now, and you see the standings in this Metro North as Totino Grace had a nice bounce back year. They had really one of the worst seasons they've had in a long time last year, but playing well so far this year. They beat Maple Grove late in the season. You got Champlain Park and Centennial playing well. Maple Grove still got some time to make some things happen late down the stretch here as well. Looks like they're probably on the way to a win that would even up their record here in this one tonight.
I'll tell you the biggest surprise there, Jay, is seeing Blaine, perennially one of the best teams in the state, seeing them 0-3 in the district conference. See Osseo getting warmed up, getting ready. You tell a lot about their character. You're down 27-0. How do you come out and fight? And we'll be able to see that. Their defense is going to start. Can they get a stop? Can they just get something positive to build on? You heard Coach Stockhouse talk about, you're going to see some grit. You're going to see some toughness. And I think that's all he's looking for from his team in the second half. Let's win the second half. We might not win the game, but let's win the half.
Interesting spot too for Maple Grove to be in. I mean, obviously they haven't had this kind of big lead in any of their games yet, and you kind of work with that part of things a little bit too, heading into half number 2.
And it gives you a chance maybe to run some running plays and to get some other kids a chance to get some experience as well.
Let's go down to Alley now with Coach Lombardi.
Coach, before the game, you said this current team just isn't a big point-scoring team, but they have capitalized on opportunities, and that's what you wanted to see in this game.
Yeah, I was proud of them. There was a couple kind of jump balls that we actually came down with, and they finally seized some momentum. I think I was proud at the end of the half. We called timeouts up 21-0, and then the D stepped up and got a pick 6, and that's what winning football teams do. And so, but it's only one half. We're a team that's obviously a work in progress, and so we can't let our foot off the gas pedal, that's for sure. And so this third quarter is it'll be a big thing telling me how we can react when we have some success.
Yeah, you guys have played a very even first half. What do you want to bring to the second half? What did you say to the guys at half so that you don't take that foot off the gas pedal and so that you guys come away being dominant in this?
Kind of what I said to you. I just said it's your job out there if you're on the field to play as good as you can and to try to dominate each possession. It's us as coaches' jobs to try to dictate, how the flow of the game goes. So it's their job out there just to play as well as they can and to make each second a moment for that they can remember.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Hey, thank you.
Guys.
Thanks very much, Allie, and Coach Lombardi. As teaching moments, as we said, even for the team that is ahead. How do you handle that success? You're not, at halftime thinking about how much fun it's going to be to celebrate after the game or what you're going to do to the rest of the night or whatever.
Well, and they're 2-3, right? They haven't had a blowout dominating win, so this is new for them as a team. So you saw their quarterback Nate Elms, they're one of their captains and their leaders. Getting into his offense, and it's going to be up to those players right now. And you can tell them, 100 times it's 0-0. Play like it's 0-0, but it's not. But you got to go out there. They're going to get the ball, and I'm guessing you're going to see the starters out there. And he's going to want to see execution, march down and score. Don't be complacent. Don't be lazy. Don't get penalties. Don't get injured, too. When you take your foot off the gas, Jay, is when you tend to get injuries. So play 100%, play full speed, get up another score or two, and then we can get a chance to maybe get guys in there that don't get a lot of varsity experience.
they will get to football to begin this second half, as well as Ryan said. So opportunity to try and get some things going right away. And I think as an offensive lineman, you like to kind of establish that, the tone a little bit for the second half. Get out there and get on some bodies and drive them back a little bit. See if you can run the ball.
Well, and it's kind of tricky too, because if you're Osseo, you wipe the slate clean here. You're 0-0. But if you give up a big play right away, do you kind of hang your head a little bit and just go into coasting? So it's two teachable moments from exact opposite ends of the spectrum. If you're Osseo, we got to fight and claw. Show me what kind of heart you have. And if you're Maple Grove, it's stay focused, be a leader, do the right thing, play the same way. And they're both tricky to do in this situation. They really are.
Anthony Nunn will kick it off for Osseo and see if they have anything, a little out of the ordinary in mind here. Not necessarily like onside, but kicking the ball something other than just knocking it up in the air.
Well, remember, they do have the wind behind them going in that direction, so we'll see.
Nunn will drive the ball deep. Low liner, nice hands to snare that one by Raymond. Up the middle he comes, broke through one tackle and brought down at the 31-yard line.
And that one will be coming back.
You're right. Illegal block called against the Crimson back inside the 20. Block in the back will push them back to just inside the 10-yard line. Not quite the field position it looked like they might have to start it out.
I'll tell you, if you're Maple Grove, this is something, with Nate Elms having success passing the ball. My scouting plan playing against Maple Grove would be to stop the run, force him to beat you. Maybe it's something he can build off too. He had a couple of really nice looking throws in that first half.
Gonna go to the fullback. Whoa, and that's a big time wrap up and throw down there by Adipu as he is able to stuff Aiden McMahon.
Adipu's had a really nice game. He's been fired up. We've seen him make a couple of really nice plays. Great penetration in the backfield. And that's what you love to see. You want to fire your coach up. Coach Stockhouse got to love to see that energy and that kind of play on the first play of the second half. And he's had another blocked field goal, tackled on that miss, the bad snap on the field goal. He's made some great plays tonight.
Short loss on the play for the Crimson, so second and long. Back to a single back set with a tight end on the edge. Elms will hand it off to Wary. Gets a nice block out on the edge, and Wary down the sideline will be out of bounds a little shy of the 30, but it'll bring him first down at about the 27.
Well, who was it? There was a Crimson that blocked about 3 guys right there. Just an awesome job by Brady Hubbard, the tight end, number 88. He sealed his guy, but then he blocked him into another couple of Osseo defenders and really just sealed that whole edge. That was a great block by their tight end.
First and 10 at the 28 is where they'll spot it officially here for the Crimson. Elms drops it. He's able to pick it up though, and he'll fall forward for a yard or two. So Elms confident in his ability to scoop that one back up.
And those are always dangerous. You don't get down and feel that. It takes a weird bounce. You could lose it, but he did a nice job, good concentration, picking it up. And not only that, but then having the wherewithal to try to make something happen out of it and gain a yard or so out of it instead of a loss of a couple. That's another thing too with really this being the first kind of cold weather game. It is different for your hands and your center and quarterback exchanges, your handoffs, and keeping them warm. And so it's new for these guys as well.
And I can verify that writing down stats even on a night like tonight's a little different.
Yeah, but you got these thick gloves on. You're good.
Second and 9. Elms, some pressure coming and incomplete as he threw it out, looking on the sideline for Overly.
And you want to know the difference there, Jay, is there was pressure on him. He had to throw that about a half a second before he wanted to, and because of that, it caused the throw to be inaccurate. That was the one thing, and you heard Coach Stockhouse say it at halftime to Allie, we got to get some pressure on their quarterback, and that time they did. Adepu came in and just put a licking on Nate Elms, and it made him get rid of it a little bit early.
So a 3rd down and 9. They got the nice run from Wary to get them, away from the goal line a little bit on a 1st down, but now in a spot where they need to convert or give the ball up. Elms in trouble, and he is dropped for the sack as Adepu continues to roll here for Osseo.
And he's fired up. His teammates are fired up for it. Their sideline's fired up. It's exactly the kind of plays Osseo needed here. Just a great athletic play. Adepu's got an amazing first step. He's got that quick first step, able to get in the backfield. He's had a heck of a football game tonight.
So Baltus will come on to punt. Osseo ought to get quite good field position here. So a high floating snap, and he just gets it away. And it's going to go out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. So Osseo trying to maybe use the formula that Maple Grove did in that first half, get an early stop and force a punt into the wind and get great field position. That's exactly what Maple Grove did. And in fact, it was not very far from this spot where they got the ball the first time. They started on the Osseo 40. Now the Orioles start on the Crimson 43.
Well, and it's such a game of momentum too, Jay. And so your offense, your defense did their job. Can the offense come out with a little confidence and build on top of that?
Here we go, 1st down play. Doubler handing it off as McKenzie taking the carry there for the Orioles and pick up of a couple.
And I love that, just a quick dive right up the middle. Use that aggressiveness and that penetration of Maple Grove getting up the field. Hit him with a quick hitter like that. It's not a huge play, but it's a positive play. We saw in the first half so many negative plays on 1st down.
2nd down and 8 situation here. Doubler handing it off, and there is Becker making another big play as he met the ball carrier McKenzie right as soon as he took that handoff.
He's had a dominating game. You can see just almost unblocked, coming down from that defensive end, making just a nice play. He's kind of that combination of athleticism, strength, and speed. Him and Adepu, for Osseo on defense, those two really have stood out tonight, how well both of them have played.
Doubler directing traffic here on 3rd and about 8, and Brooks nearly dropped that ball, but he's going to get the 1st down and more. Brooks might go. Khalid Brooks for the touchdown.
Oh, that was amazing. That looked like it was going to be a fumble, Jay, on the handoff there. And Brooks got to that second line, looked like he was going to be tackled, for a 5-6 yard gain, and then he cut back to the left, and then you saw the explosiveness, the speed. Khalid Brooks, that was just a great, great job. Right there, I thought he was going to get tackled, and watch him cut there again.
You know it's a good cut when you make two defensive guys kind of run into each other, huh?
And you said it in the pregame, you used the word shifty to describe him, and I couldn't agree more. He's shifty, but he's also electrifying too when he gets in that open field. And I'll tell you, this is exactly, if you're Coach Stockhouse, how you wanted to start the second half. Defense gets a stop, short field, you get it to your best playmaker, and then he makes an explosive run on a 3rd and long too. Nice job.
Brooks goes 41 for the score. Non's extra point is good, so now 27-7. And Osseo, you talk about hopefully taking advantage of a stop and a punt, and they did exactly that.
And now you realize how big that pick 6 was before the end of the half, right? At 21 to 20, whatever it was, 20 to 21, nothing. Now, with that 7, that's big. And now is where you start thinking, onside kick or something funky. You ride the momentum if you are going to get back into this game. But a great, great opening few minutes here of the second half for the Osseo Orioles.
Coach Stockhouse talked to us too before the game about, he likes the attitude of this group. He said, it goes without saying it's not fun to lose, but he said they come in, they watch film, they're not hanging their heads, and that's something that's impressed him about this particular group of kids. Raymond ranging over to field it on the run at about the 4, and he is brought down just over the 20-yard line as a nice stop defensively or on the return there by Hassan Kamara.
Well, the other thing I'm seeing too for Osseo is guys are making plays, and you're seeing other guys are getting excited. They're playing with a little bit more energy. They're hitting the, tackling a little bit better, and it's contagious. You see it a lot of times, teams that get momentum, and sometimes it's hard to get it back when you're the other team. So Osseo got to keep it rolling right here, get another stop with that wind behind them, maybe get another short field, and we could have a ball game. But this drive is big, I think, for both teams.
I agree, because this is the first time in the game where you would say Osseo has the momentum.
Yep.
From the 21, Elms rolling out. He's going to throw, and incomplete as he couldn't quite haul it in the tight end angle. Looked like a pretty nice play call to start that drive, but just didn't make the grab.
Well, great play action, an easy throw, and an accurate throw. That one was right in the hands, and sometimes those easy throws, you know it's coming, and you end up lifting your head or looking to see what's ahead of you, and just for a split second. Did you watch the Seattle Sunday night game last night? There was a fourth down play. Russell Wilson threw it to Chris Carson right to him, and he dropped it, but he ended up catching it. But easy catches sometimes are the hardest ones to make, believe it or not.
Yeah, when you have time to think, it's not a good thing usually. 2nd down and 10 now for the Crimson. We'll go with a little counter here, and where he has some nice room to run through, and he is just tripped up. And Maple Grove, I don't think that's a play we've seen tonight, a little counter action, and that was a good time for it.
Yeah, and it was kind of a slow developing play. Watch the penetration by Osseo. You see 4 white jerseys overrun in the backfield. So really well executed. Use that aggressiveness against them, and they kind of a delayed counter, and a nice job by Ware getting up the field. Good blocking up front.
Cody Sisaket saved what might have been an even bigger gain right there. On the 37 now, 1st down. Elms heading off to Wegscheid. Wegscheid getting good blocking up front. Nice job to run him down there for the Orioles as he was caught by, I believe it was Tussler, able to drag him down, but still a nice pickup.
Well, we've seen Wegscheid, they that sprint, kind of that sprint out handoff, and they've had a lot of success. They've run it to the left side almost every time, and every time for positive yards. That time a nice gain there on 1st down, setting up 2nd and 2.
Elms is going to run it himself, and will have enough for the 1st down. He's had good confidence in the surge of his line. You kind of catch the D. It's kind of a little bit different rhythm where you're not, turning and handing off to somebody too. You're kind of just coming hard out of the gate.
Well, and I don't know why more teams don't do that, especially at higher levels in college and NFL. When it's 3rd and short or 4th and short, especially when you got a good-sized quarterback, just the surge and his body weight going forward is going to give you, that time he picked up 3-4 yards on the quarterback sneak.
And the fact that you guys know the snap count and they don't can be to your advantage too. Handoff here to Wegscheid, stretching it out to the right side. Oh, and a good open field stop as he was brought down there by Sisaket again.
Yeah, nice job by Sisaket to run him down. And again, here's the first time we've seen it to the right, kind of that sprint stretch out play. And it's just Wegscheid using his quickness and his speed. And again, by running so quick and so far to the perimeter, you take the defensive line out of it. And a nice play. That was still a well-designed, well-executed 6-yard gain. But Sisaket makes a nice play to prevent even further.
Elms, was going to go the wrong way there, and instead he's going to get a big gain out of it. He turned and looked, and where is he? But didn't waste any time getting upfield, and they had that one blocked so well that it didn't seem to matter.
Just how they drew it up.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, he looked like, it looked like on that one Elms might have turned the wrong way. But I'll tell you, you see a lot of quarterbacks do that, and they slow down and stop for a second and almost panic. As soon as he realized that he had turned the wrong way, what did he do? He just went, and he ended up making, good play, a big first down out of it too. So a heads-up play on a mistake.
On the 36 of Osseo now. This time they do get the handoff done to Wary, and just a couple-yard pickup as he was brought down there by Martin Zeze. Wary will gain 2. Maple Grove, I think, really needed this drive for, to get momentum back. They're also using some of this third quarter clock, and they're changing the field position. I mean, their obvious hope is that it ends in a score, but even if it doesn't, they've kind of accomplished something, I think.
Well, the worst thing they could have done is another 3-and-out. Osseo gets the ball back with that momentum, with that short field. So, to your point, they've done a nice job of kind of stemming the tide here a little bit.
At the 34 of Osseo, 2nd down and 8 for Elms and crew. Long snap count here, just got it out to Wegscheid on that stretch play. It kind of puts a little pressure on your quarterback. If you have any sort of little stumble or anything, you might not get it there.
Well, and the other thing, if you're watching this at home, you don't realize how many hundreds and if not thousands of reps and timing that those kind of plays take, because as a running back, you're taught to run to a spot. You're not looking at the quarterback, and it's up to that quarterback to know exactly how far to go and where to get you that ball. So they're running it very, very well, but I promise you they run it multiple times a practice to get the timing down.
Well, and as we talked about earlier, how much different it feels when Wegscheid versus Wary in there too. When you're Elms, you kind of got to have that in your mind too. Which back is it? Going to go back to Wegscheid, almost tripped up right away, and then is brought down. But a decent gainer there as Miles Hawthorne able to get him. Boy, they got a piece of him very early on, and it looked like they might stop him short of that first down. But instead, Wegscheid ran through it.
Oh, and it's that kind of slow developing counter, and Osseo getting great penetration up, and it's catching them just off guard. And both times they've done it, the running back almost gets tackled. But if you can get by that initial rush, there is some opening, and they pick up another first down.
At the 26 of Osseo now, a new set of downs for the Crimson. Trying to build on a 27-7 lead. It's going to be Elms keeping it himself there. A little option look as he faked the handoff and then just followed his guards. And not a bad gainer there. He'll pick up 3, maybe 4, about 3.
And you know what else too, Jay? No penalties so far on this drive, no negative plays. And both coaches before the game talking about we just can't beat ourselves. We gotta just sustain drives. This one, Maple Grove hasn't had any huge long, down the field hitters, no big passing plays. It's just been 5 yards, 6 yards, 4 yards, 8, just a nice rhythm to this drive and all positive plays.
And obviously we talk about the people handling the ball a lot, but those guys up front have done a nice job on this drive, but also really all night. Elms going to run it himself again, and he is wrapped up. Stop made for the Orioles by James Spencer.
Well, defensive end, he did a nice job. Spencer did, just coming right down. And again, Elms with that big body, able to at least get maybe a yard out of that play. But this is a big one, 3rd and 7 here. Can Osseo get some pressure? If they're going to pass the ball, can they get some pressure on Elms, not let him set his feet and get off a nice throw?
Elms is going to hand it off here, and why not? Wary will have yardage down inside the 10-yard line. And it's going to be a first down and goal to go here.
Yeah, and one thing we couldn't see at the start there is they overloaded that right side. They had more blockers than Osseo did defenders there, so it ends up almost being simple math, is that you got more blockers. It's a great play. Osseo's got to adjust to that, slide over, get an extra defender over there.
And I like, well, I mean, obviously when a play works out, you like it better, but I like it's kind of a gutsy call to run the ball in that spot, but because of the way that they had him outflanked, it became relatively easy.
Yep. Yeah, there's been nothing flashy about this drive. Very workmanlike.
First down from the 9 here. Go back to Wary, breaks an arm tackle, and he's going to go in for the touchdown. Crimson finished the drive in style. Matt Lombardi is fired up. He liked that drive. Maybe to a certain extent, you even like it better than some of the other ones, just because of the way they did it. Like you said, no big plays, no individual effort. It was more of a whole team working it downfield.
Yeah, and multiple guys ran the ball there. Wary gets to the touchdown. Wagshite had a couple of nice runs. Elms kept it for a couple of nice runs. The big fellas up front did their job, and they did it consistently on every play. Every play positive. Converted a couple of third downs on it too. That was a very, very nice drive.
And here's another thing you like about high school football. You get your tailback runs it in, and then he's also the kicker who kicks the extra point. Where else are you going to see that? He's got a good leg and boomed that one through with an earlier one blocked. There you see a great kick-out block there, and there was really only one guy that had a decent shot at him, but he didn't quite have the angle.
Well, just a subtle cut too by Wary on that too. It looked like he might have gotten tackled. He just kind of did that little shake and went north, right up, turned it up, and you saw 3 linemen out there pulling and getting in front of him and clearing it up. And there's Coach Lombardi high-fiving those big guys up front, saying that's exactly the kind of drive I wanted to see from you guys in this half. Wouldn't be surprised if their night is maybe done now and maybe a chance to get some more guys some playing time. After that first drive, they went 3 and out, punted. Osseo scores. He told them, he said, I want to see what you guys are made of, and they certainly responded.
They will boot it deep here, and a couple Orioles come together. It's going to be grabbed by Hill, now looking for a block. Hill weaving his way back the other way, breaks the tackle, but then stumbled out at the 20, and down he will go. So it was entertaining, but didn't get a real big return out of it.
All that jelly and no toast, Jay.
So Osseo, the last time they had the ball, they were able to score. They really felt like they had some momentum, but now 6 minutes has gone off the clock. Their defense was out there for a long time, and they end up giving up the touchdown.
Well,
so it's a lot different field than the last time they had the ball.
And also, too, when you're on offense, you're sitting on the sideline, and it's cold. You get tight, you lose some of that. You got the warmth and the adrenaline going, so that's why that drive and the way it took place was so big for Maple Grove.
Doubler keeping it on the option and spills out for about 8. Yeah, I can verify, at halftime we cooled down. At the third quarter start, we had to, kind of get our voices going again and get the lips
very
moving
similar.
again.
Very similar. You remind me right now of, Dumb and Dumber. That one guy doesn't have gloves, and then Jim Carrey says, hey, do you want my second pair that I have on? You got these thick gloves on. I'm over here, my hands are numb and blue, but I'm okay.
And we've got a flag down. This might be too many men on the field, it looks like, or too many in the huddle for Osseo. Illegal substitution.
I'll tell you though, with Doubler in there, and when you get Brooks in there and you see them, they were running the option there. I like those plays for Osseo because a lot of times they'll eliminate the chance for a negative play, and you're getting those two guys out in space. And we saw Brooks, what he can do if he is able to get out in space.
Doubler keeping it, and he will be cut down and stopped there by Bortnam.
Well, Bortnam did a nice job. When you run that kind of a play and the quarterback keeps it, you're counting on that outside linebacker to go with the flow of it and not read, and not stay home. He stays home. There's just nowhere for Doubler to go.
So that'll be the final play of the third quarter, with Maple Grove holding a 34-7 lead as both teams scored once in the third quarter. And let's go down now to Allie.
Guys, at this point, we are familiar with Tackle Cancer Night, and it is Tackle Cancer Night here for Maple Grove. So throughout the stadium, throughout the sidelines, you'll see people wearing white t-shirts with lime green print that say Tackle Cancer, Warrior Jake Strong. Now, the Maple Grove community has a 10-year-old boy named Jake Rodriguez. He's 10 years old and he's been battling lymphoma. Now, he spent over 70 days in the hospital recently. He made it back home, which is great to hear. But on the backside of those t-shirts say Crimson Family, and that's to represent any players on the team who have a parent who's been battling cancer. This is always a huge thing in high school sports to be able to connect the two, which is pretty incredible. Coach Lombo said that they had 500 of these t-shirts just a couple days ago. The student body bought up every single one of them. So very impressive. Well done, Maple Grove.
Thanks, Allie. And I think it obviously raises awareness, raises money, but it also does really help bring a school together,
absolutely.
I think, too.
And I'll tell you the one thing, everyone has a friend or a family member that has had cancer or lost a loved one because of cancer. Oh, that was a great effort.
Boy, it looks like Brooks might almost escape there, but Atkinson held on.
Doesn't he? And I'm obviously not saying he is, but the way he runs, it's a little Barry Sanders-esque, isn't it? Where it looks like there's nowhere to go, and somehow he's able to just stay low to the ground and fight through it.
And Tyson was in there to punt, but then he is waved on out of there. I wonder if that would indicate any trickery coming from Osseo. Well, just going to try a different punter, and that one didn't work out all that well either. Rick Grant booting it away here. I think Tyson was surprised that he was being waved out.
And I'm guessing Tyson will be back out there punting the next time. Not easy, though, to punt into that wind.
So Crimson will get excellent field position here as they try and build on this lead and maybe try and salt this one away a little bit. They will have it at the 28-yard line of Osseo. Helm's going to hand it off to the fullback, McMahon. He'll pick up 3 or 4. The ball comes loose. Let's see, did they whistle this one down? Yeah, looks like they are ruling it down. Came trickling out of the pile a little bit there. But ruled down, and it seemed at first glance to be the correct rule. So 2nd down and 7 coming up here for Maple Grove. Boy, in an ideal world, I think for them, like you said earlier, finish this drive and then, probably pull the first team offense out of there. And they go right back to the fullback again. Man on the carry.
You see some hitting going on close to the whistle or right after the whistle. So that's where if you're both teams too, you got to be real careful, keep your discipline. A couple of nice runs right up the middle. It almost got the feeling they're running that to set up the option out of it. We'll see if that's what they go with here.
Yeah, they've really had a lot of their success, as we said earlier, on the edge. Not a traditional sweep, but more of the sprint out handoff, off tackle or off to the edge of the formation. But they've been pounding it straight at him on this drive so far. Going to go option, and it is Elms keeping it, and he should have enough for the first down. It would appear as he is brought down by McIntyre.
Well, he fakes that, and then he follows the fullback right behind him, so you almost get another blocker out of it. And again, he's that big body, and he makes pretty quick decisions too. When he turns it upfield, he can get some yards. He came into this game really as their leading rusher as far as total number of yards and touchdowns too. So he's been a dual threat player for them.
From the 21, first down here for the Crimson. Or excuse me, from the 16. First down, they're going to keep it on the ground and go right up the gut again for a couple of hard-fought yards. McMahon again handling it.
And not a whole lot, like you said, not a whole lot of seams and space running up the middle. That Osseo interior defensive line and linebackers have done a pretty nice job solidifying the inside.
The 2nd down and 8 coming up here for Grove.
Remember, you got Wakescheid in there, and he's had so much success running that sprint out. See if we see something like that again. Looks like it's set up for the option, though.
And it is Elms keeping it on the option, brought down by Arell. He'll be short of the 1st down, but not by a whole lot. And we've got an injury timeout here as an Osseo player writhing in pain on the ground. I think it might be Spencer. Spencer was in that first pile on the
yeah, and anytime you get bodies falling on each other, you always worry about, you know, landing on a leg funny or a knee or an ankle.
Yeah, and, you know, in some ways when you watch, you're almost thinking it's surprising it doesn't even happen more often than it does. Yeah. There's so many bodies being knocked around, and there's not really a lot you can do about it when somebody falls on you from the side or the back. I mean,
well, I'll tell you that we had in my son's youth football league last week, we had a guy trying to make a tackle, and the running back's knee when he was doing it came and hit the player right in the head. And you're like you just said, you're amazed that there's not more. How physical, and look at all the bodies, big bodies in there. Oh, you can see it looked like he hit his head or his neck.
Yeah, he made the tackle attempt on the fullback, you know, who they faked it to.
Yeah, it was his head. He was kind of leaned forward, and it looked like the lineman got him back a little bit. That's scary stuff. You certainly hope it nothing serious at all. And Spencer, he's had a nice game. He's had some really nice tackles in there. He's a big body. He's been a big reason why, you know, that interior has not been run on that much tonight. Great to see him getting off the field like that, but you can see him holding his head a little bit. Sometimes, you know, when it's scary. It's more scary than anything when you feel that jolt to your head and your neck. You just get a little bit, you know, dazed, but you're also a little panicked. Like, yeah, I want to make sure I'm still moving okay and nothing too serious. So it's good to see him walk off on his own power.
3rd and 2 here for the Crimson. Going to go right back to McMahon, and that one is stopped. Arell got there first and had some help finishing him off by McIntyre. So it's going to be 4th down and a couple for Maple Grove.
Well, we've seen 4th and short or 3rd and short. We've seen the Crimson like to get the ball and keep the ball into Nate Elms' hands. Whether he's sneaking it or whether he's just doing the fake and then diving, you know, right up the middle behind his fullback, I wouldn't be surprised to see Elms keep the ball.
Yeah, big quarterback at 6'3", 210, and they're going to use a timeout here. You can see it, you know, in some ways you're thinking, well, it's a pretty big lead, but they're just on that margin where they don't feel comfortable with it quite yet. And coaches always are going to feel that way because you know things can change late, you know, in a hurry. So they're trying to be efficient and finish this drive off. The good news for Maple Grove, besides the obvious that they have a big lead, is that even if they do get stopped here, they'd be giving Osseo the ball inside the 10.
Yeah. But it's also good practice because I guarantee in the playoffs at some point it's going to be 4th and 1, 4th and 2 on a very critical drive. And right now you've got a bunch of plays in your playbook for this kind of down and distance. You want to make sure you get the right one in. You can see Lombardi's trying to pump his guys up. He wants his 1st down. He wants them to finish this game. Because a lot of times when the game's over as a coach and as a player, you only remember kind of the ending, how you did it. So you played this really good game. Finish it off the right way. I'm sure that's what his message was to his guys.
So here we go, 4th and 2 for Maple Grove at about the 8-yard line. It is Elms. He's going to try and sneak it right away, and it looks like he'll get it. Boy, they actually
stuck him first.
Yeah, he was stopped briefly, but then just kept the legs driving, and he'll pick up the first down all the way down to the 5-yard line. I give credit, obviously, to Nate, but also for that line, they didn't stop their legs from moving, because initially I don't think he was going to get it.
No, there was contact. He was short, and then you saw that second drive that I think got him forward, and that's where having that size up front can be really good.
So they'll be first and goal at the 5, and they also wind the clock to be able to just continue to chew up a little more of that remaining time as well here as they try and put the finishing touches on a win. Helms going to keep it himself again and falls forward close to the 2-yard line.
I'll tell you what, the pitch is there on that option. He's keeping it before, he's not even reading it, he's just wanting to go. And rightfully so, he's getting positive yards every time, but if he was able to keep it, he's got Wagshide wide open there to the perimeter.
You kind of wonder the way that late in the game they've been, trying to be careful a little bit more maybe than they'd have been before, maybe thinking that a fumble here, it would be worse than if you just get a few yards at a time here the way they have been. It's going to be Elms again, and he will not get there. As we talked about in earlier games, though, sometimes this isn't so bad. To take it a couple yards at a time, you wear Osseo out, you eat up the rest of the clock, too.
Well, and again, it's another drive too, Jay. There's no negative plays, no negative yards. Everything has been positive. We haven't had any big home runs again. These 2 drives here in the second half have been long, sustained drives, and there's a Nate Elms 3rd rushing touchdown.
They stick with it as they went fullback, then quarterback runs for the Crimson, and Elms is able to punch it in.
Nice job up front. You can see some great driving by those line. Nick Gill, number 66, up there just driving them back too.
Extra point try coming up from Wary. And the kick is good, and so with 5:16 to play, it becomes 41-7 in favor of Maple Grove. That block extra point is all that stands between running time right now, because it's a 34-point lead rather than 35. I wonder if there was any consideration at all of going for 2 there. I really doubt it, but.
No, and you wonder too now if Maple Grove will get some of their second team players on defense in, give them a chance to get some playing time. And you can see that great crowd here. They don't look cold. Maybe we're getting wimpy in our old age here, Jay. They look warm and ready to have some fun, cheering on their Crimson.
I will confess that yes, I am. I don't know about you, Ryan,
No, and he's got to be pleased with how his offense responded in their last 2 drives. Very workmanlike. Just saying here, we're nothing fancy. We're just lining up and see if you can stop us. A couple of 4th down conversions. After Osseo really kind of grabbed that, got the stop, got the score there to start the half, we thought maybe we're going to have a game here, and Maple Grove did an excellent job of responding to that.
Bay's kickoff fielded there by McKenzie, and he will be stopped just short of the 20 at about the 19-yard line. So the Orioles get the football back with a little over 5 minutes to go, and unfortunately McKenzie hobbling as he gets up, but making his way to the sideline, getting a little help from his buddy there. You like to see guys still sticking together even when they're down big like that and helping each other out. Doubler in there at quarterback, at least on his first play. Again, he has split time with Kruder tonight. Doubler, I think, has certainly had more of the snaps.
Yep.
Doubler, did he give it off or did he keep it there? They were he was riding the handoff there all the way.
That was kind of a weird developing play there. There was quarterback, running back came together, and then they never separated, and almost both got tackled.
See some subs in there now for Maple Grove, but they got a good stop there for a loss of a couple. So 2nd down and 12 for Doubler and crew. Doubler looking to throw. He's going to throw it up for grabs in traffic. And was it caught? It looks like it was. Intercepted for the Crimson by Eddie Kilgard. Boy, that was not an easy catch considering the wind, and then the receiver, Hill, almost got to it.
But you can see, I love that coming off the side there. Kilgard with the interception, his teammates just waiting for him to celebrate with him. Ball kind of hung in the air here. Great effort too by Osseo, and just a nice concentration. That ball was moving, you could tell the wind had taken it. And just a nice play. Look at Maple Grove fired up for him.
Looked like the right call too, that he did get the hands underneath that ball. I thought for a moment it might have hit the ground.
I did too.
So a new quarterback in there for the Crimson now. That'll be Baltus, who is the punter, but also the backup quarterback. Oh boy, and that one's going to go nowhere in a hurry. Good stick there defensively for the Orioles by Calvin Harris. Those are the kind where you're fired up to get in the game, but then you're thinking, do I really want to take this handoff when there's a man with bad intentions waiting for you there? Second and about 13 for the Crimson.
Nice fake.
Baltus got all kinds of room after faking that handoff. And down the sideline before he's thrown down at about the 17.
Oh, that was just a great ball fake. Not a pass. You know, we see a lot of play action when that's a pass, but that was a designed run. Baltus, great fake. I tell you what, he used his body to hide the ball, so I don't think the defenders knew he had the ball until he was about 10 yards down the field. So excellent ball skills there.
Spotted on the 18-yard line. Go with the handoff there, and another rough ride given is a tackle made there by Kamara. Lakeville South with a lead on #1 Lakeville North.
Robbinsdale Armstrong with a big game tonight too against Coon Rapids, who having a good year. Armstrong winning that one 21-14. And Champlin Park in our area here beating Rosemount too, so that's a pretty good win as well.
Second and a couple now for the Crimson. 2:50 and counting here as they try and seal down this 41-7 win, or with a 41-7 lead anyway. Oh, now a flag flies late as a couple guys remain tangled up there. And that's one that's not probably going to please Coach Wade when you get in the game there. It was kind of one of those deals where they kind of were just still engaged. It wasn't like somebody came charging at each other late. The blocking just kept going. I wouldn't be surprised if this offsets here, but nope, going to be just against Osseo. There might have been a little more to that than I first saw. So it'll be first down and goal to go from about the 7 for the Crimson. They hand it off straight up the gut here as they work that fullback dive again, and Evan Copley handling it.
Well, nice push that time too by the offensive line, especially on the left side there, getting good penetration there off the ball, firing off, and You know, when you get your chance in a varsity game, and we've talked about Maple Grove been in a lot of close games, so these guys haven't had a whole lot of experience this year. You get your chance, you want to show your coaches what you can do. So these, don't think that the game might be decided, but these are big reps for a lot of these guys.
Going to go back to Copley. Looked like he might get there, but then stood up and driven back at about the maybe 1.5 yard line. Yeah, they'll spot it actually a little further back than I thought, more like the 2. Winding down here on a win for the Crimson, which will put them at the 500 mark for the season with a couple of games left in the regular year. So right back they go to Copley, and he will get in, I think.
Oh,
yes, touchdown. Ball was at some point in that run, as he spun, it was over the goal line, it looked like. So he gets some slaps on the back here for the short touchdown run.
They're fired up, and the linemen are fired up. It's just great when you get your second team in there. And, you know, these guys work just as hard as the first team, right? And you don't get a lot of the credit. You're doing a lot of the scout team work during the week, but you can see fighting it. That
was close.
Yeah. I thought at first the ball did cross the line there. It was close, but either way, they give them a touchdown.
And they're just going to kneel for the extra point try there. So the clock will run, and probably run out here, actually, as that's why they didn't bother attempting the extra point. Well, they are going to stop it actually after that one, but we are into running time. I think that's what Coach Lombardi's asking about right now. He's like, gosh, that's the reason we didn't try an extra point there.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. You'd see the teamwork. I always tell people sports mimics life. It's teamwork. It's caring about something other than just yourself, and it's caring for a greater good. And see, guys are fired up. Linemen that don't get a lot of chance, they're hugging each other. The first team celebrating the second team. It's a fun win tonight for Maple Grove. And if you're Osseo, I think you take away that you did a couple of things really nice tonight. You had a couple of big plays. Remember that flea flicker to start the game that got called back? I really think that could have changed maybe the whole direction of the game. Maybe Maple Grove eventually gets there, but Osseo would have had the ball at midfield. Instead, they get called back. It's 2nd and long. Maple Grove gets a stop and scores right away, and kind of away they went after that.
So 20-yard line, and now they do wind the clock. So Osseo, it could be down to our final play here. And at quarterback now for the Orioles is Bernard Amoria. Pretty good basketball player for Osseo as well. Gonna hand it off up the middle. And they might be able to get another snap off, but they don't have to, obviously, if they don't wish. Last play chance here for Osseo is handoff going on the left side. And that will bring this one to a close as Maple Grove rolls to the win, 47-7. Their 20th win over Osseo now all time. And again, Ryan, throughout the season, the word kind of has been that Maple Grove pretty solid defensively, struggle a little bit offensively, but we saw some pretty good things from both sides tonight, I think.
Well, we did, and if you're Maple Grove, I think you leave thinking Nate Helms can throw the ball. If they get into a situation where they do have to throw, I'm telling you, Jay, he's got as good of an arm as anyone in this area. I saw it in pregame. We saw some great throws tonight. So maybe that's good for his confidence. He got some big plays through the air. and short yardage with that. He's a big body, a good quarterback. He can get those, quarterback sneaks. And then I love their 1-2 punch with Wagscheid and Wary too. A nice 1-2 combination from running back. And anytime you got a good defense, you give yourself a chance to win. And Maple Grove's record, they're 500 now, but I can promise there's not many teams that want to see them or Coach Lombardi come playoff time.
They'll be heading over to Anoka next week to take on the Tornadoes. And then, as I said, closing out the regular season on CCX right here at Maple Grove against Champlain Park. That coming on that Wednesday night.
That could be a really fun game. Two very good teams.
Yeah, and they haven't, when the district setup came in, Maple Grove hadn't always been playing so many of the teams right around them anymore, but now back they're in that Metro North sub-district, so they're going to be seeing a few more of those teams again.
Well, they should, I know coaches will never admit this, they should be able to beat Anoka next week. They'll have some good momentum going into that game against Champlain Park. That could be a really good one.
Osseo be back at home next week on Friday night as they host Blaine, and then close out the season on the road at Centennial.
That'll be a tough one too. Centennial's playing some good football this year.
All right, let's go down to the field with Allie.
We're going to try to not die right now, but I've got the workhorse, Cooper Wegscheid here. Cooper, this is your first dominant performance for your team this season. What was it about your offense that was so productive that allowed you guys to do so?
We had a great week of practice this week, and just coming into this game, we had a pretty good second half last week, so we were kind of working off of that, and we knew that we were going to, drive the ball on them. We scouted them very well, so based off all those, we just came with a lot of confidence, and I think we played well because of that.
There were some huge offensive plays for some really big yardage gains. What was one of your favorite that stood out to you?
I love Spencer Weary, number 18's touchdown, because that's my good buddy, so I was happy for him. At the end, when we put the JV guys in, my buddy Evan Copley, he got a touchdown. That was awesome. So just all the touchdowns, all the plays were just awesome.
On the flip side, your defense played stout tonight, allowing only one score. What did you see out of your defensive performance, out of your team that you liked?
Defense coming into this was kind of same with the offense. Had not the best game last week, but we kind of came out of it with a little bit of confidence, and we scouted them very well. We knew their tendencies, we knew what they were going to do, so based off that and the confidence, I think that's what helped us get the victory.
People say that the only game that matters during the season is Maple Grove Osseo. You guys come in and absolutely are completely dominant. How fun was that win for you guys?
It was fun, but that's just 1 week out of how many we ever play. So that's just another game to us. We got to keep going and get playoffs. So.
Sounds like something Coach Lombo told you to say. Coach Lombo before the game said, I want to finish out this season 5-3. Tonight, you guys even it out at 3-3. What's it going to take to finish out 5-3 and head into the playoffs?
We just got to do what we did tonight. Come in with confidence. We got to be prepared, and we just got to be ready to play ball. That's about it.
Thanks for joining us, and now you can go celebrate with your team.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cooper. Guys.
Thanks very much, Allie, and thanks to Cooper. I had a chance to meet him over the summer, and a great kid, and you can see why the Crimson are happy to have him in their program. So a great night for Maple Grove, and again, best of luck to both teams the next couple of weeks. And again, Crimson fans will be seeing your team again on that last Wednesday night of the regular season when they host Champlain Park.
You just want to get home and take a bath, don't you, Jay? Warm up.
Yeah. We could stand to get to some warmth here. 47-7, Maple Grove beating Osseo tonight. For Ryan Iverson, Allie Mosley, and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Maple Grove.